Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is so good to see everybody here in person to celebrate the graduation of Lucky Cohort 13. Thank you all for coming. Two long years, a lot of Zoom time, but we finally get to come together in person. My name is Don Haviland. I have the pleasure of chairing the Educational Leadership Department, and I am really, really thrilled that we're together tonight in this actually turned out to be really a beautiful evening to celebrate Cohort 13. I actually want to start out my comments tonight by giving a huge shout out to Kim Word, Charlene Carabas, and Oscar Jimenez. Tonight is by far the largest, most complicated event that we've ever tried in this department. Kim, Charlene, and Oscar, you do an exceptional job every day taking care of students and faculty, but I think you've topped it tonight, and they've worked so hard for so many weeks to make this happen. Thank you all very much for doing that. So on your tables is a little plastic thing that probably keeps blowing over when the wind comes up. That's the program for this evening. In a moment, we'll get to hear from our dean, who will extend her welcome and her congratulations. And you'll also hear a little bit from several of our graduating students. Then we're going to pause, and we're going to watch a short video that just is sort of a bunch of memories from Cohort 13 while our graduates head off that way and get hooded and get ready for the hooding ceremony. But I just want to tell you first, Cohort 13, how darned proud I am of you all. I'm excited for you, but I'm mostly proud of you. You did it. You made it in a way you never imagined you'd have to make it, right? As I said in my emails to you after your dissertations that a doctoral study is indeed a journey. I don't think you could have possibly imagined the journey that you were in for when you started this program 3 years ago. You joined a completely in-person program, and you can be part of the history of the doctoral program. And we were in the last in-person cohort for the EDD program at Cal State Long Beach. Just 10 months after you'd started, the whole world turned upside down. You already had full lives when you started the program. It got even more full once the pandemic hit, right? So you had to figure out how to both work and learn from home, just like the rest of us. If you had kids, you're probably now an expert in homeschooling. Had to figure out how to master that. And the regular parts of life continued along the way. You've had injuries and illness. You've suffered loss. And you've probably forgotten what some of your hobbies were because you've been so busy the last 3 years. On the flip side, though, you've had children and welcomed other new members into your families. Some of the good stuff. You've gotten promotions, and through all of this, you have persisted to this achievement right now on this day. Think back. Hey, you get applause for that. Take a second and think back to 3 years ago and how much you've grown as scholars. You've moved from trying to figure out what exactly a problem practice is, or how and why one would even want to do a literature review, to being really engaged, critical scholar practitioners, and we're proud to call you colleagues and celebrate you tonight. It's been my absolute pleasure to watch you defend your dissertations and read your good work, and I will share in all honesty that collectively, yours are some of the most consistently well-done dissertations I've read in my time as chair. True. It's true. And I have no idea how you pulled that off in the middle of all this craziness, but I really do applaud your good work. You asked meaningful questions, you've done solid analysis, and you've offered implications and recommendations that can and should shape policy and practice. So you should all be very proud of yourselves. I also want to take a moment to thank and congratulate the family and friends who have supported you on this journey. They've cooked for you, they've cared for your children for you, they've missed you at events, they've edited your papers, watched your presentation practices, and been your cheerleaders throughout. Some of them probably know your research as well as you do. So when you cross the stage, they share in your achievement because getting a doctorate is indeed a team effort. Family and friends, would you just stand up so we can give you a round of applause, please? There you go. All right, that's the spirit. Now the party is getting started. While we're thanking people, how about we talk about the faculty for just a minute, right? So colleagues, Well, we're going to start with... I'll call them all off, I promise. So, colleagues, if I when I call your name, will you all stand up? Let's start with Dr. Slater. Dr. Biolchino. Dr. Devery Rogers. Dr. Ortiz. Dr. O'Brien. Dr. Glass. Dr. Perez-Huber. Dr. Hansuvadha. Dr. Priede. And Dr. Olson. Right? Next time I'm bringing an applause meter. That'll be great. Where's Dr. Vega? Dr. Vega? Thank you. Dr. Vang. Dr. Vega and Dr. Vang. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Get everybody? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's raucous. So, colleagues, I really do want to thank you for your good work, your commitment to students, and I want to do a special shout out to Dr. Ortiz and Dr. Vang, who were the pro-sem instructors who got Cohort 13 up to the major milestones. All right, I'll be back, but right now I want to introduce the Dean of the College of Education, Shireen Pavri, who is here to extend her welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I just love the energy in this room. Yes. That's the rowdy table there. You guys have to up it now. Competition here. All right. So, class of 2022, are you ready to graduate? Yes. Good evening, everyone. My hearty congratulations to all of you. So, as Dr. Haviland said, you have worked incredibly hard. You spent long hours developing your dissertation, conducting your research, engaging in self-reflection, and redefining the kind of educational professionals that you hope to be and plan to be and already are. You have studied under the most outstanding faculty. I know we've already recognized your faculty, but let's give them another big hand. And you have been supported by an incredible, dedicated team of hardworking staff in the back there, all of them. Thank you. You have made close friends. You've made lifelong colleagues. You've laughed and loved and stretched, maybe even shed some tears along the way, probably. You've stretched your minds and your hearts, and I sure hope you've had some fun along the way. I see a lot of heads nodding. All right. You now leave Cal State Long Beach as highly skilled educational professionals, and more importantly, as well-rounded educators and leaders who are committed to advocating for improved life outcomes for the students and the communities that you will serve. The college is extremely proud of all of your accomplishments. We know that you could not have accomplished all that you have without the support of the loved ones, your family, your friends, your mentors, who have motivated and inspired you, as Dr. Haviland said, cooked and cleaned for you, all those little ones who climbed into your laps and given you that hug when you've most needed it, who've encouraged you to finish that last paper and cheered you on as you reach each incredible milestone. So graduates, please once again thank all your family and friends without whom you could not have proceeded on this journey. Please, let's give them a big hand. Oops. CDD, class of 2022, you follow in the footsteps of 48,000 College of Education alumni who have walked in these shoes before you. They have opened doors for you and will continue to do so. And you now stand with beach pride amongst this accomplished group of professionals and also amongst over 355,000 alumni from Cal State Long Beach. Absolutely. So I invite you to remember that Cal State Long Beach is your academic home and to give back to the college and support the education of the next generation of Cal State Long Beach students. Once again, my hearty congratulations to all of you, and go Beach, go teach, go lead. Congrats.
Thank you, Dean Pavri. So I realized at the start I forgot to make two very important announcements. I'm going to kind of interrupt and circle back to these very important announcements. Restrooms can be found under by the vending machines, kind of the awnings over there. And we've been asked if you may recall the journey that we had with parking, and that today we don't need parking passes. If you have your parking passes with you, we've been asked to collect them. So give them to Kim or Charlene. I guess the university would like them back. So that's the request. Onto the content of the program now. So each year, students nominate and faculty identify two student speakers to speak on behalf of the cohort. This year we've got a little bit of a twist. Never before in the history of the doctoral program have we had a poet laureate for the cohort. So I am very pleased we could not pass up the opportunity. Dr. Toumic, Asatorrian, has agreed to share his talents with us. He has distinguished himself in many ways in the program, including his great sense of humor, and we appreciate his willingness to draft a poem just for today. Will you come on up and join us, Toumic?
Hello, everyone. This poem is called Lucky 13. Congratulations, you have a new degree to your name. 3 shiny new letters you have to explain. Tell family and friends that you are a doctor. And when they ask for medication, explain, not that kind, another. From the first day of class, I knew you'd be here, standing on stage and hearing these cheers. So take it all in, every last drop of praise, and tomorrow at work, ask your boss for that raise. Thank your friends and your family for a lifetime of support. They're the ones who made sure you didn't fall short. Thank your faculty and colleagues, especially your chair, without whose help and support you'd be nowhere. So enjoy today, let's celebrate tonight. You're 100% a doctor, and 100% is just right. So, thank you.
And he did that after writing an entire dissertation. That's amazing. Thanks, Toumic. Fabulous. So as I mentioned at the start, each year, students nominate and then faculty select 2 speakers to represent the cohort. So our next 2 speakers have been recognized by their peers and their faculty as exemplifying the scholar practitioner role, both at work and in the program, is growing as scholar practitioners while in the program, and is contributing significantly to the welfare of their cohort. So it's my pleasure to introduce first Dr. Sara Aloteibi. Followed by Dr. Autumn Cunningham.
All right. Good evening, graduates, families, faculty, and staff. Every one of you has made an impact on graduates who sit here today. As we are all gathered here tonight, I would like everyone to take a moment to look around at the diversity represented in this joyous event. The diversity of the faculty and the staff, the diversity of this cohort graduating, and the diversity of all the guests that have come here to celebrate. This is what makes CSULB great. This is why I am proud to be standing here tonight on this very campus. I truly in my heart believe that CSULB and this EDD program is an exemplar that all programs, universities, workplaces, and organizations should follow. So let us all take a moment to give CSULB and all its amazing faculty and staff here a big round of applause. So I applied to several doctoral programs in Southern California, and what made CSULB stand out among the rest, and what drew me to this specific program was the interview portion of the application process. I remember 3 years ago walking into Dr. Slater's office for my individual interview. I remember feeling nervous, anxious, and uneasy, afraid that I wouldn't perform to CSULB's expectations. After all, here I am, this Palestinian-American Muslim girl with only teaching experience, applying for a doctoral program in educational leadership. Why would they want me? And there it was, the answer to my question. A poster hung in Dr. Slater's office of a woman who looks just like me, wearing a hijab, and right above her, it said, "Everyone is welcome here." And that's exactly how I felt throughout this entire program. Welcomed, wanted, loved, and appreciated, among many other things. And most recently, when I received the email to apply for graduation, I clicked on that link, and there it was again, a picture of a beautiful hijabi glowing in her graduation cap and gown. These moments are rare for girls like me, to see a Muslim hijabi woman representing an organization, so it's great to see CSULB acknowledging the student diversity and taking the right steps towards equal representation. It is those little things that organizations can do that make all the difference in the world. So that is my story. So that is my story of how I ended up in the educational leadership program. And while we chose CSULB, every single one of us graduating here tonight were personally handpicked by this program's remarkable staff. We were all selected for our uniqueness, our drive, and our passion for education. We each brought something special to the program, and together we made a family. Never forget that. This 3-year-long doctoral journey together as Lucky Cohort 13 has been probably the most challenging yet humbling years of our lives. There were days when we cried and others when we laughed. Days when we agreed and others, well, when we didn't. And boy, did things get pretty heated when we debated on topics. I mean, just throw a bunch of educators in a room. Then there was Dr. Slater's memorable trip to Ensenada. If you want to hear stories, go visit Alec. He has tons. And let us not forget Toumic's poems. And it's funny because I wrote this before I knew who was going to do a poem, but so you guys got to hear that. And Brian's singing. It is these memories that we will take with us. As this 3-year-long journey comes to a wrap, many begin to ask, so what's next? So my current principal is retiring, and our current assistant principal is taking her place, which opens up an assistant principal position at my site. And when my colleagues found out that I was graduating from this doctoral program in educational leadership, many of them assumed I was applying for that AP position. That's the rumor out there. I had to break it to them that $60,000 in a doctoral degree later, I'm still not qualified. And they were like, why? But you're a doctor now in education. I had to tell them yes, but now I need to go back to school to get my administrative credential to even be qualified to apply. And even after I get that and after I get hired, I need to clear that credential with even more schooling. So yes, a bachelor's, teaching credential, master's, and doctoral degree later, all in education. And I still need another credential to become an administrator. And they wonder why there's a shortage of teachers and administrators in the education system. Anyway, after we get past that shock, they asked me why I did it. Why I put myself through 3 years of quote-unquote torture of being a full-time doctoral student while holding a full-time job, raising a family, and having a third kid in the middle of it all through a pandemic. Told them it was to hang another degree in my office and be called Dr. Aloteibi. No, but really, why did we do it? Why did we put ourselves through 3 years of schooling while holding full-time jobs? We each have our stories, we each have our reasons, and I would like to share some of those with you today. Many of us graduating here today are first-generation immigrants whose families left everything and came to the United States with nothing to seek better life opportunities and live the American dream. That makes us first-generation doctoral graduates. This is huge because less than 3% of first-generation undergraduates pursue doctoral studies. One of my cohort members, who is a first-generation Latina immigrant, recently shared her tia and mother's inspiration of pursuing a doctoral degree on social media that touched my heart. They taught her, la educación es importante. It's the one thing that no one can take from you. That's from Brenda and her family. We did it to set an example and encourage others in our community to pursue higher degrees. We did it for our daughters to see that women can be mothers and hold careers and be leaders and climb that ladder. We did it for people of color who remain unequally represented in higher education and leadership positions. We did it to be the agents of change for the education system, to improve PK through 20 education for marginalized students, to advance in our careers and open up new opportunities, to further advance educational research, and we did it for intrinsic love of education. So cohort 13, we did it. Through hardships like losing our loved ones, battling physical, internal, or mental health issues, earning a second chance at life, losing our jobs, moving to live on an island, living through a pandemic, or taking care of our loved ones. And through celebrations like getting engaged, getting married, job promotions, purchasing a home, having children, or adopting pets. We did it, and we did it with courage, grace, and resilience. So cohort 13, I leave you with this message. I encourage you to go beyond your limits, to reach for the impossible and make it possible, to persevere and inspire those around you to achieve great and unimaginable things, to become the social justice leader our world desperately needs, to mend the children today to be the future leaders that tomorrow needs, and lastly, remember to always stay humble and kind. Congratulations, cohort 13, you're officially Doctors of Education.
Good afternoon, y'all. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was a beautiful speech. My name is Dr. Autumn Cunningham, and it is an incredible honor and beyond a privilege to be able to speak to you all this evening. I've thought a lot about what I wanted to say to you tonight. So many things crossed my mind as I reflected on our time together in this program. I thought about the first time I met some of you, like sitting next to Parisa as we waited to be interviewed for our program and being just in awe of her because she's already lived 5 lives while I'm just trying to make this one happen. I thought about the first time I heard some of you tell your stories, like my friend Maria, Dr. Chides. I listened to her as she told us how she waited to be interviewed by the president of her college for her tenured faculty position, no doubt one of the greatest accomplishments of her life. But all she thought about was her father as she watched the man garden and tend to the college grounds. I thought about some of my experiences, like the first time I truly felt seen and heard as a Black scholar. And it was simply just Toumic, Eva, Lindsay, and Gisela, and Mayra in a Zoom listening to me scream in anger and disappointment or sadness or rejoicing in pride of actually being able to write a coherent sentence in a chapter. As I reflected on some of these moments with all of you, I realized that this doctorate, this journey in educational leadership is one of the most selfless endeavors of our lives. When I first decided that I wanted to pursue this degree, I had so many thoughts of myself go through my head. I thought about all the things I would be able to do, the change I would be able to make, and some of that is true. But I was in for a rude awakening when I entered this program. I realized very early that I was not doing this for myself. This path I was on represented so much more that was bigger than me. My father passed away suddenly when I was 20 years old. He was truly the rock in our lives, always there no matter what. He was a meat cutter from Alabama. and he barely understood anything I said, but he understood I was smart. He would always tell me, go to school forever, Autumn. Don't stop. Don't listen to nobody. Never stop. Never stop. Go to school forever. I would roll my eyes and say, okay, Daddy, I'll go to school. I never really understood what he meant until this day, this moment, as I stand here with his spirit coming through my words. All these years ago, he knew. He was telling me that this is not about me, that this journey I would embark on would not be about me, and my accomplishments would not belong to myself alone, but it belongs to our children. So many of us here are our first, the first. We are our family's first, our ancestors' wildest dreams, the dreams of slaves, immigrants, those who struggled and died so we can live fully. However, it is incumbent upon us to uphold that dream so that we may not be the last. It is not lost on me that we have lived and excelled through one of the greatest and most difficult periods in the world history. The pandemic uprooted us out of our classrooms and into a virtual reality that made connecting and learning so difficult. However, we connected. We stayed connected. We built bridges bigger and longer between us, and they grew stronger even today. And we reached a level of excellence that at times felt impossible. For that, Cohort 13, I congratulate you, and I congratulate your families. I often wonder, how did I do this? How did we get through this together? And the first face that comes to my mind is that of Dr. Haviland. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Dr. Haviland personally for his leadership and his grace, because I truly do not believe or think that he knows exactly what he has done. So I'm going to tell him. In the summer of 2020, I saw George Floyd killed in the street on a television. He looked just like every black man I knew. And as I heard him call out for his mother as he lay there dying, something broke in me. I could feel it. It was like bone shattering. At that moment, I said to myself, what am I doing? Why does this even matter? Nothing matters. No matter how high I climb or ascend, I'm just another black girl from Inglewood. I would see pictures of Breonna Taylor standing just as tall as I am standing now, holding flowers as she beamed with pride from her accomplishments. But I immediately deflate because I recognize the only difference between me and Breonna is geography. I am not the only student in this program that experienced that level of crises. And it is important that I tell you this in front of everyone, Dr. Haviland, on this stage. The care you took with us, the intentional intervention, the mindful creation of space to unpack and to heal, the safety that was cultivated among faculty, staff, and students, it was life-saving. Because of you and our esteemed faculty, I did not give up. So many of us did not give up. And that makes you and our faculty responsible for higher education having just a few more advocates, scholars, trailblazers, and first, who are acutely aware of the power they hold in their names and in their skin. So I thank you. Thank you. In closing, I want to recognize one more person, a pillar of absolute and resolute strength in my life. My mother, Mitzi. Mom, it is very simple. I would not be here without you. Your unyielding belief in me permeates everything that I do and gives meaning and purpose to my ultimate why. My father's dream for me did not die with him because of you. I remember it all because of you. And it is for that reason why every argument that I have crafted, every theory that I have applied, every word that I have written are for those who will come after me. Carter, baby Shelton, and Samuel. Congratulations, cohort 13, you did it.
Whoa. Thank you, Sarah and Autumn, for honoring us with your words. Thank you. Did it. I asked Autumn not to make me cry, but I lied. I had some words that I was going to say at the end that I'd hope would inspire, but I think we're just going to roll the tape back on what Sarah and Autumn said, and I think we'll all be better for it. So thank you both sincerely very much. So we're going to take a little break, and it's going to be kind of an intermission. So we've queued up a video of some of Cohort 13's greatest moments, I think both in the Zoom world and in the real world here. And I'm going to ask that our graduates exit and head over that way towards, you see Kim waving her hands? And we're going to get you all lined up for the hooding ceremony, all right? So we'll get faculty together too, okay? And we'll cue the video, and so enjoy the video. We'll be back in just a couple moments. All right, if folks would be gathered back in their seats, we're ready to do the hooding ceremony. Thank you all for your patience. All right, so in just a moment, we're going to begin the hooding ceremony, but I wanted to give you all a little bit of context first, if I could, because there's a long history that goes with this, and it can be a little obtuse, I think. So the context, it's actually believed that the hooding tradition dates back about 1,000 years to European medieval universities, much like the Harry Potter movies, right? Right? Those medieval libraries were very cold and they were drafty, and so the scholars who worked there needed to have these hooded robes, right? To stay warm as they went about their work. And what happened is the hooding ceremony emerged from that to symbolize the completion of study and the graduate's admission into a community of scholars. Unlike the Harry Potter movies, we do not wear these robes anymore when we teach. Sorry, maybe some may, but I'm not aware. But the tradition of hooding remains, and it's typical for master's and doctoral students to be hooded by their faculty advisor as a rite of passage and as a celebration for both, really. The fact that this tradition remains may say something about how slowly higher education changes, and that's absolutely true. But for many centuries, this was an opportunity that was available only to white men. And so the fact that we are able to hood a far more diverse group of scholars today is a testament to positive and much needed change. If you've attended a graduation ceremony, you'll see some of this tonight. You've likely seen variation in what we call the academic garb, right? And little things signify differences. So master's students have smaller hoods and for some reason long sleeves that are shaped like triangles. I have no idea why. Doctoral students have these broad, long, full hoods, and we have these puffy sleeves with the velvet on the chevrons, and we get to wear the cool floppy hats, right? So these are all little symbols, right? But if you look also at us, the hoods vary. So the back of our hoods, the things down our back, the colors reflect both the degree you earned and the institution you attended. So if you're a dentist who graduated from UC Davis, you're going to have a different hood from the philosopher who graduated from USC, for example. And you'll note that today's doctoral students have hoods that are trimmed in a light blue to signify the educational doctorate, that kind of velvety stuff, I guess it is, with black and yellow satin inside the hood to signify that they've graduated from Cal State Long Beach. little bit of background, right? Okay, so before we get hooding, I'm going to give just a couple of housekeeping items. First, you'll note that we have a video camera here and monitors, which hopefully you'll be able to see. But I want you to know, too, we're recording the hooding ceremony. And when we get that back, we're going to cut up the file and send a file to each graduate so they have their actual digital memory of their own hooding, which we're kind of excited to be able to do. And graduates, I don't know if you can hear me, but as you get ready to head in, when you're done being hooded, you can just exit right here and kind of towards the back of the tent to see Kim, and she'll direct you on where to go next. All right, so if we're all ready, then I'll get ready to call up our first group of hooders. Ooh. Toumic, Asatorrian, hooded by Dissertation Chair Jonathan O'Brien. It could be a little tricky. Camera. Nice. Dr. Parisa, Samaie, hooded by Dissertation Chair Jonathan O'Brien. Dr. Miguel Reyna, chaired by Dr. Nina Flores, hooded by committee member Jonathan O'Brien. Beautiful. Good. Dr. Brenda Regalado, hooded by Dissertation Chair Erin Biolchino. Don't you love how Kim just pops out from behind the balloons? Dr. Yvette Reynoso, hooded by Dissertation Chair Dr. Erin Biolchino. Dr. Pamela Gandara, hooded by Dr. Nat Hansuvadha, Dissertation Chair. Dr. Eva Dotti, hooded by Dissertation Chair Alejandra Priede. Dr. Sara Aloteibi, chaired by Dr. Paul Ratanasarapong, hooded by Dr. Alejandra Priede. Dr. Morgan Chandler, chaired by Dr. Paul Ratanasarapong, hooded by Dr. Alejandra Priede. Dr. Mayra Soriano, hooded by Dissertation Chair Dr. Lindsay Perez-Huber. Dr. Autumn Cunningham, hooded by Dissertation Chair Dr. Anna Ortiz. There you go. Dr. Sonia Della Torre, hooded by Dissertation Chair Dr. Anna Ortiz. Dr. Alex Sixta, hooded by Dissertation Chair Dr. Charles Slater. There you go. Dr. Elizabeth Chavez, hooded by dissertation chair Dr. Maijua Vang. Dr. Amber Dill, hooded by dissertation chair Dr. Maijua Vang. Congratulations. Very soon to be Dr. Kimberly Goffney, hooded by dissertation chair Dr. Maijua Vang. Dr. Maria Chaidez, chaired by Dr. Nina Flores, hooded by Dr. Avery Olson. Gotta look this up. You gotta go solo. Hold on. Dr. Lindsay Stirk, hooded by dissertation chair Dr. Avery Olson. We can. All right. Don't even know. Very soon to be Dr. Elijah Sims, to be hooded by Dr. William Vega. Dr. Lauren Sasenko, hooded by Dr. William Vega. Okay, this next one's kind of special, so bear with us here for a second. Dr. William Vega. Hooded by his dissertation chair, Dr. Avery Olson, and his very proud father, Dr. William Vega. There you go. Yeah, nice. Congrats. Can we just give everybody a round of applause? You all look beautiful. You all clean up so well. Those robes look great. The hats, the flowers, it all looks fabulous, and it's all so well earned. Congratulations. So I'm going to say just a few closing remarks, but what I want to do is put our graduates on alert, please. So don't disappear, please, after my remarks. If what you can do is come up to the stage, we'd like to stage a cohort photo that will hang on the wall in AS 238. For as long as we know. So I'll say a few words and then just come on up, and then your families can also take pictures as well once Alex has gotten his photos. So sound okay? All right, thank you. So just a few closing remarks. Our very first cohort started 15 years ago this very month. So graduates, you actually are joining more than 300 doctoral alumni from Cal State Long Beach alone. It's a very elite group. And we've enjoyed knowing you, we've enjoyed working with you, and we've enjoyed getting to know you, and we're actually going to miss you. So please stay engaged with us. Please come back as guest speakers. Please participate in one of our postdoctoral programs. Engage as advisors and mentors to future students. And please, graduates, please remember that you're our best ambassadors. You know us best, and so please send us talented colleagues just like you for future cohorts. Your donation of time, talent, energy, and anything else are always welcome and valued. As I close the event, I want to offer you just a little bit of advice and then ask you give you just one final assignment. The advice, and I think you're already doing this, savor this moment for as long as you possibly can. I have no idea what the etiquette books say, but I say that you're a new doctor for a full year. And as Dr. Ortiz has said in the past, if someone pops up next November or next March and wants to buy you dinner or get you a drink to celebrate, by all means, take advantage of that opportunity. Right? And now that one final assignment. It's not tied to any grade, but please use what you have learned and share it with others to disrupt the systems of injustice and inequality to make education better. Share your ideas, share your knowledge, change our institutions so that they truly, actually serve all students. And as you do, please keep us posted on your inevitable success. Congratulations, lucky cohort 13. Thank you all so much for coming to celebrate. Graduates, if we can have you up here for a cohort picture.